very big crowd that we have here today at Glens Falls Hospital. So first of all, I want to thank you all for being here and welcome you to Glens Falls Hospital. I especially want to welcome the members of the Glens Falls Hospital Board of Governors that are here in attendance today, the members of the Glens Falls Foundation Board of Trustees, and our very special guests to my right, Bill Stock and his wife Joanne, and his brother Rick and his wife Missy, who are here today for something that is really going to be transformational for our organization. I think everybody knows last summer we announced that we were going to do a major renovation in our mother-baby unit, which we affectionately call the Snuggery here at Glens Falls Hospital. Since the past 31 years when the Snuggery opened, we've done over 40,000 births, and though care has remained contemporary and we have state-of-the-art technology, our facilities have gotten a little old and outdated. So we set the goal of improving the patient experience for moms and families, and knew that in order for us to achieve that, we needed to transform the unit, the Snuggery. We also announced at that time that we would be looking at philanthropy and philanthropic donations to help us be able to fund that $5 million expense. So, as luck would have it, there was one day in the fall, shortly after we began the Snuggery renovations, we received a phone call. And the phone call was from the Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation. At that time, there were all kinds of emotions. Some people were excited and overjoyed and thrilled at the prospect of a huge philanthropic donation that will be just so impactful for this hospital and this community for years to come. Myself, I sort of said, nah, I don't believe that. I think it's a fake phone call. So we sent dates out to validate, and sure enough, since September, we have been working, the foundation, Cindy Bates and myself have been working with Bill Stock and Joanne Stock from the Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation to get to the point where we are today. I will tell you that Bill and his family, Bill, his brother, he has two brothers, they grew up here in Glens Falls on Garrison Ave. He's met many of his neighbors. It's so great this morning to see friends coming back to greet Bill and Rick. And he grew up here and left, followed his career, and became very successful, which puts him in a position to be able to give back to those in need. So when I was thinking about today, if anyone who's ever been in my office, you've seen this sign, and it says, when you get there, remember where you came from. And that's very meaningful to me. And as I looked at this morning, I thought, you know what? Bill Stock remembers where he came from, and how lucky for Glens Falls Hospital that he does. And with that, I'd like to introduce Bill, who is going to announce a significant piece of news for our organization. Bill?
Thank you. Thank you, Diane, and good luck with the Patriots.
Oh, I didn't even say a word.
I don't know how I can compete with that, but I'll try. Well, it's great to be back in my hometown. After I graduated RPI, I lived in 7 different states and 7 different communities, but this place is really special. It had a big impact on my life on a personal and professional level. I'm talking about the incredible influence of the teachers here, like Mr. Freeman and Mr. Cedarstrom, and the role models like Stan Rome, and my neighbors and friends here. I think I'm just a product of the social fabric of this community, and I'm really proud of that. And I think it's time for some payback. I live in Scottsdale now with my wonderful wife and my golden doodle. And after I retired, we talked about starting a not-for-profit charity, and we did. It's called the Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation. And our first project was a partnership with Phoenix Children's Hospital, specifically the One Darn Cool School at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And we sponsor a full-time teacher there and we support assistive technology for the sick kids. And I have to tell you, these guys, these teachers are my heroes. They not only keep the kids on track with their education in the hospital, they facilitate the introduction, the reintroduction, of them back into their school and their social network. And it's not easy. It's emotionally very difficult. Some of these kids have lost some motor skill abilities, some cognitive abilities. Some can no longer walk, or write, or even talk. And some of these kids are just not the same anymore because of brain trauma. And they work hard to make their lives better, and we're very proud to support that. We're committed to making these kids whole again, to be more productive, happy, and independent. We're working to that end, Joanna and I. So we're about to embark on our next project with Glens Falls Hospital, our next program, our next partnership. We're very excited about that. I've had the good fortune of working with Diane for the last few months. Whenever I start a business venture, I'm pretty thorough. I do my homework. Thank you for putting up with me, Diane. I really appreciate that. And I've learned a lot about Glens Falls Hospital. First, I can't say enough about the medical staff here. They're the best. They're talented and dedicated. They really care about their patients, and they deserve a big thank you. Second, it's not easy to run a major hospital that serves so many rural communities. And Diane has done a great job. And I have to say there are challenges. I mean, the reimbursement rate for Medicare is declining. The logistics of serving such a big geographic area is daunting. And now we're faced with the prospect of repeal of Obamacare. And these are big headwinds. But we're here to help. And we certainly hope that you'll join us in helping the Glens Falls Foundation. And I'm also here to honor my mom, Joyce Elizabeth Stein. Joyce was born in Elmira, New York, 1939, and she had a difficult and impoverished childhood. She was basically brought up by her grandmother. She didn't see her father very much. Her mother died when she was 7. Her grandmother had custody, and she lived in her little 2-bedroom house. That house had 7 people in it, so she slept with her grandma. They didn't have a lot of money, but she worked hard at school, and she did very well in the Regents exams. She went to nursing school and became an RN. She met my dad in Elmira. They got married in New York, and they decided to move to Glens Falls, New York, because they thought that was a great place to raise a family. Boy, they had that one on. That was a good move. And she worked here at Glens Falls Hospital as an RN for many years in the 60s and early 70s. And then in 72, my parents mortgaged the house on Garrison Ave and bought a lot on Quaker Road and started the Heidelberg Inn restaurant. Unfortunately, just a few years later, my dad passed away. And Joyce, well, she raised 3 young boys single-handedly. She ran that business, and she put us all through college. Amazing. She was very hardworking, a great businesswoman, but more important, she was a wonderful mother. And she really instilled in us important values, many important values. And volunteerism and philanthropy was high on that list. she connected with a lot of people. She touched a lot of people's lives in this community. In the 90s, she sold the business and retired to Florida, and then moved to Gilbert, Arizona, where she became very active in her community. You know, I think character really becomes evident during hardship, in the face of adversity. And when Joyce faced adversity, we remember her. We remember her optimism, her resilience, and her grace, especially during her long, long battle with ovarian cancer. She was a fighter. Boy, was she a fighter. Despite the debilitation, the deleterious effects of cancer treatment, she continued to volunteer at her community center and the hospital. Philanthropy and volunteerism. Important. Her spirit lives on today through our foundation, through all of you friends, family, grandchildren. And today, very happy to make an announcement on behalf of Joyce Elizabeth Stock. The Bill and Joanne Stock Foundation is pleased, very happy, to present a donation to Glens Falls Hospital and the Snuggery for $1 million.
On behalf of the entire community, I know I speak for the Glens Falls Hospital community and our community at large. I want to thank Bill and Joanne for their very generous and transformational donation. This will be hugely impactful to this community and for those lives that are going to be born into the next generation for years to come. So we are appreciative and humbled by your philanthropy. And I would like to ask Glenda Kelman, who is our chair of the Board of Governors, to speak. She has another important announcement to make. So Glenda?
Good morning. Welcome home, Bill. Many thanks to you and your brother Ricky, and his wife is here, and your other brother, and Ricky is known as Ricky only in this area. and their third brother, John, or Johnny, who could not be with us today. What an incredible gift. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I too, like Mr. Stock, am a Glens Falls native. I was born at this wonderful hospital. 7 members in my family, spanning 3 generations, have been born at this hospital, and I began my nursing career and worked here as Mr. Stock's mother also did, Joyce. Our community is privileged to have Mr. Stock, a Glens Falls native, continue to provide quality care to women, newborns, and families in generously supporting the expansion of the Snuggery for our community, which has delivered over 40,000 babies since the inception of the Snuggery and the initial renovation, and now about 1,200 births a year, which then welcomes about 3 new human beings a day to this wonderful community. Mary Celadon and Diane Kirshner and the dedicated staff that work so hard every day, 24/7, 7 days a week. Mr. Stock, your generosity, your support, and your recognition, and continuing your mother's footprints and presence of this important gift will touch the lives every day of families in our community and impact this community for generations to come, assuring our families of exceptional care because of people like you who choose to make a difference. On behalf of Glens Falls Hospital and our community a sincere thank you to you. And now, in recognition of Mr. Stock's landmark gift and in honor of your mother, Joyce Elizabeth, moving forward today, our birthing center will now be known as the Joyce Stock Snuggery at Glens Falls Hospital. Thank you again. I would now like to introduce Dr. Danius, past chair of the OBGYN department, and also another example of a national exemplar. He currently serves on the National Quality and Safety Committee for the ACOG, or the American College of GYN Physicians.
I am honored and humbled to represent all of the physicians, the midwives, the nurses, the staff, all of us who participate in patient care on a daily basis. Like the namesake of our new Snuggery, I came to this community not as a native, but came here to raise a family, and found that I came to a family. I found that here at the Snuggery, it's always been about a team. 31 years ago, the Snuggery was started to create a model for the patient, and we have always tried to fulfill, and I believe continue to fulfill, that mission. The LDRP model is a model where the patient can come in, she can labor, deliver, and be with her baby and her family in that same room. 31 years ago, this model was one of the first, and it has endured as a lasting model of care. And thanks to your generous gift, it can continue to be that level of care. All of us on that patient care team are dedicated to the patient's experience. We know that the birth experience is something which will be remembered throughout a lifetime and for lifetimes beyond. We are honored again to continue to protect, serve, and cherish that experience with each one of those deliveries, 3 a day, from the future onwards. When I came to the community 11 years ago, I was wondering why some of the mothers of my patients said that they remembered the wallpaper from the same room that they delivered in. So let me not wax rhapsodic about the past, but actually talk about the future. What you're providing is not just an experience for mommies and babies and their families and the staff, but a higher level of care. The special care nursery is now being renovated, and it's being moved so that there's greater access for these new members of our community to have immediate care directly from the operating room, and in concert to be close to their mommies. Currently, we have expanded not just the hallways to have better flow, but the patient family area to let you know we are going to continue to honor what we have always honored, which is to have the family members there in the room supporting the patient. But now we will have an expanded area so that all of their family and friends who come can be a little bit more comfortable. And in the immediate future, next week, patients will start to experience their new rooms and can no longer say, or at least have their mothers or grandmothers say, that they had delivered there. This work continues. Our work will continue. We will use the example of Joyce and honor her example. We will honor those who come to this community and those who are born in this community. We will honor those who are born in the future, and we will thank those who were born in the past who remember what that experience is. Thank you very, very much.
Hi, I'm Cindy Sherwood, Vice President of Development here at Glens Falls Hospital. I can't think of a better person to have our Snuggery named after, and we are just overjoyed by this generous donation. It's amazing to me that just last year we announced that we were launching a $1.25 million campaign on this $5 million mother-baby project. What were we thinking? In addition to the Stock's extraordinary donation, we have been fortunate to have received several large donations from local individuals and foundations, including the Stewart Shops and Dake family and the Charles R. Wood Foundation, both of whom have representatives here today helping us celebrate. Imagine our surprise and delight when we received that phone call in September from Mr. Stock. I can tell you, as a development and fundraising professional, that is a very rare call indeed. This $1 million Stock Foundation donation, the first seven-figure donation this hospital has received since 2005, is a game changer for us and for this project. With this incredibly generous commitment, we have now raised $2.24 million for the Snuggery, which is nearly half the cost of the project. But our work is not done yet. We will continue to welcome support at all levels and welcome community engagement in this project that will impact so many of us. If you're interested in getting involved, please contact us at the Glens Falls Hospital Foundation or through our website or Facebook. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here to help us celebrate this amazing occasion. Mr. Stock and hospital representatives will be available for questions afterwards. Thank you.